Hey guys, how's it going? So I have some videos planned in just the next couple days of some really fun and a couple interesting firearms that many of you have probably not really even seen before. Now today this video isn't going to be quite so fun, but it's just as important, if not more important, than actually showing firearms, because if we ever lose our gun rights, we're not even going to be able to have these guns to show anymore, so it kind of becomes a moot point. Now look, I live in Michigan, so today's going to be mainly focusing on some Michigan gun legislation right now that they're trying to get through. For the rest of you in the country, I care about all of your states just as much in one sense, because we are the United States of America, and united we stand and separated we fall. So I've done videos recently on the Virginia situation that's going on. So trust me, I have all of your states' backs, and hopefully you from other states still find this video somewhat interesting. But this is going to mainly pertain to my Michigan guys, because we live in this state and we can actually, vote for these local representatives. So I hope this video is somewhat interesting for everybody. But Michigan guys, all of you guys from Michigan, you guys need to listen closely, and we need to get involved. So here's the deal. We now have our Democrat governor. We have our Democrat attorney general. They're rabidly anti-gun. And we have a narrow majority, the Republicans do, in the state Senate and House, but the governor's just itching. She's just itching to sign anything anti-gun she can, and she's made this well known. And look, I hope none of these bills I'm about to tell you about go through, but there's a whole laundry list of them right now that are getting introduced in Michigan. And we need to be calling our state representatives, calling our state senators, and telling them, no, not in Michigan. That governor may have gotten elected somehow, but she may be anti-gun, but Michigan is not an anti-gun state, and we won't stand for it. And again, like I said, everyone else in your other states, look, they're using Virginia as a big test bed. And depending how the anti-gunners succeed or fail, they're going to start sweeping across the country. It looks like they have their eyes set on Kentucky next, and then Michigan next. You guys get the point. So, look, the whole country needs to stand behind this, but specifically you guys in Michigan, get off your butts, get out there, make some calls, literally tomorrow. Don't do it the next day because you might forget. So here's the deal. This is just about a week ago. 6 Democrats from both chambers introduced legislation to expand universal background checks and many other things for Michigan. So we have state senators Rosemary Bayer, Democrat, Beverly Hills; Stephanie Chang, Democrat, Detroit; Jeremy Moss, Democrat, Southfield, along with state representatives Robert Wittenberg, Democrat, Huntington Woods; Brenda Carter, Democrat, Pontiac; and John Hoadley, Democrat, Kalamazoo, introduced Senate Bills 678 through 680 and House Bills 5275 through 5277. When you call your reps and senators, reference these House bills. So we've got Senate Bills 678, 79, and 680, and we have House Bills 5275, 76, and 77. And this is a 6-bill package that is, in their words, going to expand Michigan laws to better regulate firearm sales and bring sentencing guidelines up to par with new standards. And here's a quote from Moss, one of the senators that introduced the bills. Jeremy Moss says, "These are common sense bills that most Americans support to prevent the next tragedy from occurring. Our colleagues must join us to pass these reforms to keep everyone in each of our districts safe." So that's how the Democrats, it's all about safety, right? And remember back, Benjamin Franklin, those who would give up an essential liberty for a little perceived safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. I got the essence of that quote right at the very least, but it's all about just give us a little bit and of your liberty, of your freedom, and we'll provide your safety. But it reminds me of a Ronald Reagan quote. The scariest words an American can hear are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." So every time the government says they're going to keep me safe, it's actually kind of scary, and I know how dangerous it could become. So we have gun control measures that include a bill to require background checks at gun ranges has been introduced, and bills making unsafe gun storage a felony, and legislation clamping down on domestic abusers using firearms. They always tug at the heartstrings, guys, because as we already know, it's already federally illegal for anybody convicted of a felony or domestic abuse, even if it's a misdemeanor. So it's already illegal for somebody to have a firearm if they've been convicted of domestic assault or a felon. So, but they still use these kind of words. Don't let them fool you. Trust me. So it says, and this is one that's actually scary here. It says, this winter Democrats introduced red flag legislation that will allow a judge to issue an extreme risk protection order to those deemed a risk to themselves or others, blocking them from owning or buying guns. Look, I'm not going to go on about red flag laws too much right now. You guys already know what they are. But they not only violate the Second Amendment, but almost the whole Bill of Rights and other enumerated amendments. These are like literally the most draconian laws that I've ever seen proposed in the state of Michigan or in the United States. Like scary, scary, fundamentally change of our country type of scary if these go through. And what kind of bothered me here is it says Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkley, he's a Republican from Clark Lake. He's our Senate Majority Leader in Michigan, said he's open to a hearing on it. The hearing has not been scheduled, so everyone from Michigan, you need to call the Senate Majority Leader, Mike Shirkley, and tell him, no hearing. We don't even want a chance of a red flag law, and explain to him how draconian they are and how Michigan patriots, just regular old Michigan people, Michigan gun owners, we won't stand for it. So the Democrats want it, and the Republicans saying he might be open to talking about it. Now, Representative Lee Chatfield, he's our House Speaker. He has said it's off the table. He's not even going to talk about it. So look, call him up, make sure he's still on the right side of this, and if he is, thank him. Say, look, we stand with you. I know you're getting tons of pressure, but keep opposing it. We stand with you. So you want to call and oppose, right? When they're trying to do something bad. But when they're doing something good, definitely call them and say, we've got your back. Stands true, you know, Mr. Speaker, Mr. or Mrs. Senator, Representative, etc., right? Okay, so real quickly here. Senate Bill 679, introduced by Moss, and House Bill 5276, introduced by Carter, would update the Michigan Penal Code by replacing the word pistol with firearm to ensure a broader scope. Current language in Michigan's Penal Code only requires background checks to be conducted for pistols. So we already have this draconian, burdensome, and total BS pistol registry and background checks in Michigan as it is. We already have that. And I've been trying my hardest for years and years and years to get that repealed with no luck yet. I think maybe with more of us chiming in, we need to go back. That's how you have to do this. You have to fight fire with fire. We need to call them up and say, not only do we oppose Senate Bill 679 and House Bill 5276, but we would like you to introduce a bill to get rid of the pistol registry. See, that's what they do. You give them an inch, they want to take a mile. We need to say, no, you're not going to expand it. But by the way, let's get rid of the registry we already have. That's something I really like us all to focus on in Michigan, by the way. I've been working on it a lot. I never had a YouTube channel in the past, but I'm hoping I can reach a few of you guys from Michigan and we can really get together on this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But we're gonna oppose the universal background checks, but let's rally together to support them getting rid of the pistol registry. We need to fight back. We can't just always play defense and deflect. We need to introduce some pro-gun bills too, right? So, going on here, we basically have another legislation, which is Senate Bill 680 and 5277, that makes it a crime for forgery and false statements on the purchase and sale of firearms. I'm going to look into that one a little bit further because forgery and false statements is already a felony. Like, I literally have a pistol sales record from Michigan right here. Let me see if I can cover up all my info here. Registry copy. This is something for a pistol I just bought for the channel. See that? I have 10 days to turn this in, and it clearly already states mandatory for sale or proceed without a license to purchase. An individual who makes a material false statement on this form is guilty of a felony. That's the Michigan RI-60, our pistol registry. So the fact that they're introducing new legislation to make it a felony to commit forgery on a firearms form, there's definitely something in the weeds there. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? They're also going to have a law, like I said earlier, that I can't find the number for it yet. A lot of this stuff's just been initially filed here, requiring that all your guns are locked up. which, yes, as parents, we need to teach our kids about firearm safety, don't touch, call a grown up, all these things that we've all been teaching our kids this whole time. But to say every gun has to be under lock and key at all times, what that means is when you only have seconds to react to a burglar that's going to hurt, pillage, kill family members, irreparable harm to you and yourself and your loved ones, when you only have seconds to draw that weapon in defense of life, the minutes it takes to fumble around in the dark, you're sleepy, coordination's off to get that gun unlocked, could be the time it takes for you to be dead. So, completely and utterly sickening. They're worried about making it basically easier and safer for when a criminal breaks in. You need to give them a little head start, right? So you don't have immediate access to your chosen defensive tools. Let them know that. Word it all in your own words. But look, you need to call your local representative, okay? And tell them that you would oppose these bills. And I want you to have them offer a bill to get rid of the Michigan Pistol Registry outright, because it doesn't stop crime. Look, it goes back to the old saying that's just so true. That's why I always say it. But, you know, bad people don't follow laws, and criminals don't follow laws. But good people generally don't need laws. All these registries are doing is making good people like me. Just bought a pistol. You know, pistol sales record here. I just bought a pistol, right? Just extra burden on me having to register. Now look, registration is not to make anybody safer, because again, criminals don't follow laws, but it does set up a registry. It does set up a database. And if you look throughout history, there's never been a database or a government registry that has not been abused. And registration leads to confiscation. So there you guys go. They want to do it for all of our guns though now. Long guns. That's the big thing right now. And then like I said earlier in recap, the red flag. The fact that the Republican Senate Majority Leader is willing to hold a hearing, he says, and talk about it. Yeah, he's talking about it. That means he's looking to check the temperature. Call our Senate Majority Leader. Okay, call Lee Chatfield. Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey. Call the Speaker of the House, Lee Chatfield. Call your individual representative and state senator in Michigan and let them know what's up. Because if we just sit back and don't say anything, they're going to assume that everyone in Michigan's fine with it. That we all want to live in a totalitarian dictator state with no rights of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We don't care about keeping arms. Look, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You know what I'm saying? We have to call, guys. Don't just assume that well, my guy's a Republican, my gal's a Republican, they'll vote the right way. You can't assume that. And if it's a Democrat, call them too. If they say, hey, I'm right in the same boat as you, offer praise and say, I've got your back. If they're not, say, correct yourself, or me and my fellow Michiganders will punish you by removing you from office at the next elections, and you will lose your power and you will lose your job. That's how I talk to them anyways. One more thing, and this really makes me not ashamed to be a Michigander, but makes me ashamed to have these people representing the great state of Michigan. And this is with our Attorney General. Now, as you guys are familiar, there's a huge Supreme Court case right now going on, right? In New York City. And there's tons of info on it. But real quickly, in case you've been under a rock, you know, I get it. I like to sleep under a rock sometimes too. It's nice. But, you know, basically, there's a law that was in New York City that said, look, you can't transport a firearm outside of the city. If you have a second home outside of the city, hunting, shooting range, just any lawful activity or self-defense or lawful purpose, you can't leave. Well, that's like totally unconstitutional, right? Well, the state came in and changed up the law, blah, 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 to try to make it moot. A bunch of terrible, like not even 2D chess, but like checkers was played by the New York City and the state of New York. They're trying to moot it and all that. You guys know the case I'm talking about, right? It's the firearms Supreme Court case that's going on right now that could have huge implications, like up to the levels including to equal to Heller. Like, this is going to set a benchmark. And this is where even people that don't live in Michigan that are still watching this long, this affects everybody. Well, there's something in Supreme Court filings, you can file briefs, right? There's something called an amicus brief, aka friend of the court, meaning you're not a direct party to, but you can still send your opinions and suggestions to the court. Well, There was a brief amicus brief submitted by the U.S. House of Representatives with 139 members that are basically wanting the Supreme Court case to throw this out. They want New York to win, and they want gun owners to lose across the whole country. And there's several Michigan members of the United States Congress, including U.S. Reps Dan Kildee, Democrat from Flint. If he's your representative, call him up. Let him know. No. No. I'm ashamed that you're representing me signing on to this crap. Same thing would go for Brenda Lawrence, Democrat, Southfield, Michigan. And Andy Levin, Democrat, Bloomfield Township, right? Now, our Attorney General. She's a beauty. This is a real winner right here. Dana Nessel, the Attorney General. Now, she signed on to petition the Supreme Court. And petitioner's argument in this case would dramatically curtail the flexibility of states to respond to the problem of firearm violence, says a brief submitted by 12 states and Washington, D.C. And our Attorney General signed on. The states that signed on were New York, Connecticut, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Virginia. So our Attorney General, that's the chief law enforcement person in our state, has signed on telling SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, that Michigan wants them to decide against the plaintiffs and for the city of New York for a gun ban that didn't let people transport their firearms outside of the city to their second home, to their hunting trip, to their competition, or just to freely move about the country lawfully with protection and liberty of a firearm. So, yeah, Michigan's name is on there right now. Against the Second Amendment, asking the Supreme Court to go with New York. And our name of our great state is on there because of, like I said, this beauty. Attorney General Dana Nessel. So, there you go, guys. I know we've heard it from the other side. Elections have consequences, but we can't let this keep happening. We got to get in there. You got to let them know. You're accountable to us. And the main thing is we need to vote. And each of us that are going to vote these people out and vote liberty-minded and pro-gun people in, we can't just tell one friend. We have to tell like 50 friends, hoping that one or two of them will actually pay attention, get out there and vote. Let people know what's going on. Because this Attorney General, she doesn't represent me. I know she doesn't represent you guys, but it doesn't matter. Michigan's name is now on the petition to the Supreme Court to stand up for New York City and to stand against the Second Amendment. So, not the happiest video, but you know what? We have to do this because we can have fun, and I could have showed you a really cool gun tonight. And if we keep letting this crap happen, I'm going to have to stand here and say, hey guys, here's the gun I can't show you because after these 6 gun control measures, if they pass, they'll go for 6 more. Then they'll go for 12 more. And before you know it, there won't be any left because the other side has pretty much made it clear they want them all. And we have a Democrat governor in Michigan. She's a beauty too, by the way. And this Democrat Attorney General, and they're giving our state a bad name. We've lived our whole lives in this great state. Good people. You know, the good state of Michigan. And she gives all of us a bad name, as though we're the traitors. And we're not. So, let's stand up against these people. Let them know it's not right. They're violating the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution and Michigan Constitution. Article 1, Section 6 reads, every person has a right to keep and bear arms for the defense of himself and the state. It doesn't say the Attorney General is going to defend the state. No, it says every person, which is me, you, and you. It's our right and it's our duty to defend the state. And people like our Attorney General, our governor, many of our state reps and senators, in order to protect us, they want to take away our right to defend ourselves, our families, and the great state of Michigan. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.